Back to the Culture Call on Praise 93.3 with L. Spencer Smith. Our desire is to reach and empower the community by discussing a cross-section of relevant topics from various perspectives that are essential to its growth and interpersonal connections. Be sure to save our call-in number, 205-752-4800. Be sure to install the free Praise 93.3 app so you can send L. Spencer Smith a message or topic idea. Search for WTSK in your app store.
This is a world premiere.
Great morning, precious people. You know what time it is. That's right. It's time for the number one talk show, your favorite voice. That's right. Bishop L. Spencer Smith right here on Praise 93.3 and 790 WTSK with the Culture Call. It's the place where Tuscaloosa meets the world. And, of course, for the next 2 hours from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., we're going to be talking a little bit about everything. That's right. Everything from society to sports, education to economics, from religion to relationship. And as always, we are here to create a safe space. Y'all didn't hear me. A safe space to have empowering, provocative, and yes, even sometimes controversial conversations. Yes, and you can call in and chat it up with us as we learn together right here on the Culture Call. Listen, shout out number one. You know what we do to all of our first-time listeners. Welcome to the CC family. I am so glad and grateful that you all have parked your ears to hear what's going on here at Praise 93.3, 790 WTSK, and the Culture Call. I'm telling you, whether you're at your cubicle, riding through the city, on vacation, I want to definitely say thank you for this being your first, but certainly not your last time listening to the Culture Call. Shout out number two to all of my faithful, consistent, committed, steadfast and unmovable, right? Always abounding listeners to the Culture Call. Listen, you have made us what we are. Every day you tune in and you push us to the top. You keep encouraging us. When you see me in the street, you keep telling me, hey, Bishop, keep going on. I listen to you. I try to listen to you every day, and I have learned so much. Well, that's my assignment. That's my purpose. That's my job, to make sure that our community is not last or lost in anything that is going on. And so, hey, I am grateful to have you on for the ride. Absolutely. And last but certainly not least, we give a big old shout out to Brother Jay. That's right. My mentor, the inimitable, anointed, educated, intelligent, add any kind of positive adjective you want there, it would be Brother Jay, leading us in from 5 a.m. all the way to the 10 a.m. hour. And I am so glad that he passes me this hot revival baton and tells me to run on to see what the end is going to be. And I believe that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm so grateful for him and all of the staff and team here at Praise 93.3 FM. Hey, do me a favor if you haven't done so, especially if you're a first-time listener. Go ahead to your smart device, pick it up. I know it's in your hand. Pick it up and download, go to your app store and download our free 99 app, Praise 93.3. Go ahead and put that in the search bar, and there you're going to find an app. It doesn't cost a thing. Just download it on your phone, and you can start listening to the Culture Call on the go and all of our amazing programming here at Praise 93, 790 WTSK. You can get the weather, events, current events. You can get traffic, all of those great things when you download that app. And most importantly, the best in great gospel music. So go ahead and download that app. Hey, do me a favor, do that now. Listen, you can send me your email announcements. Email me your announcements and events at culturecall.praise@gmail.com. That's culturecall.praise@gmail.com. And give me an opportunity to let Lottie, Dottie, and everybody know the amazing things that's happening in your church, your organization, your sorority, your fraternity. Maybe you're an artist getting ready to have a concert, or a pastor or preacher getting ready to run a good old-fashioned revival. I want to let everybody know so that we can put some faces in the place so that you'll know that the work that you're doing in our community really, really does make a difference. You know why? Because we do it better when we do it together. Listen, I need you to go ahead and follow me on Facebook. I know you've got social media. Just find Search out The Culture Call, and then you're going to see me. All you got to do is push that like button, and now you are a member of the Culture Call community online. I'm glad and grateful to be a part of that on Facebook. Hey, go ahead. Last week, y'all were blowing up that. Y'all were joining left hand and right hand, and I am so super glad about it. We've got some wonderful things coming up in social media, just navigating our way just a little bit longer. There's a number that I'm looking to get to. I'm looking to get to 1,000 followers. Yeah. 1,000 followers, and then we're going to show you some things, a thing or 12, like my whole folks used to say. I'm going to tell you a thing or 12. All right, 12 things? All right. But yeah, go ahead and follow me on social media as well. Write down this number, 205-752-4800. That's 205-752-4800. You can call in to the show and be a part of the conversation. Absolutely. Listen, I know many of you are at work and you can't call in because you're at work trying to listen. I understand. Well, the app has a feature on it that you can send me a chat. That's right. You can actually send me a chat, and it comes to me while I'm on the air, and I'll talk about or acknowledge what you have to say on the air. Absolutely. You can just say, hey, great job, Bishop. Good topic. Wonderful. Yeah, many of you do that, and I really, really appreciate that. And so make sure that you chat it up on that chat as well, or, respond to the chat or whatever. Go ahead and do that as well. And maybe you've missed past broadcasts. Guess what? I want you to know this. You can go to Apple Podcasts, search out Culture Call, leave the article "the" off, search out Culture Call, and there you can find me and all of our previous broadcasts. I'm telling you, every day we try our best to inform, enlighten, to make sure that you have the best of information that's going on in our country, in our world, and definitely in our state and in our city. So go ahead and do that for me. Hey, do me a favor. Sit back and relax. Grab you some coffee. You know how we do it. Maxwell House to Starbucks. Maybe coffee is not your thing. Go ahead and get you some tea. Yeah, chamomile if you're trying to calm down, and a little green tea if you need a little caffeine kick to make it to that lunchtime hour. Maybe, just maybe, coffee or tea is not your thing. Well, water is always. Listen, put them sodas down for a season. Fast from those sodas, right? And get you some water, some spring or some alkaline water. Absolutely. Ascensia is my favorite. Get hydrated, get down to those cells, wake them up, and let's get into the culture. Listen. I am super excited about today's topic. We're going to be talking about the benefits of partnership and collaboration. I want to just kind of veer off a little bit off the political path, even though there is some amazing things that are happening. One person is still lying and obfuscating. Another person is the underdog, and she and her partner is going all across the country in battleground places, in rural areas. Thank God for rural areas. If you live in a country or rural area, shout out to you. Definitely want to give you a shout out, because it is so very important that you are paid attention to. You make up a part of the electorate as well. And we know that as much as we can canvass everyone and hit different spots, we're able to give you the right information, because there seems to be a disinformation campaign that's going on because they want to keep you uneducated. They want to keep you to a place to where, I want to make sure that you stay ahead and stay ahead of the game, so you won't be messed up or you won't be lost voting for the wrong person, supporting the wrong things, or doubling down on disinformation and misinformation and making a bad decision. So, yeah, I'm grateful that they're going and canvassing through and really talking to rural voters in the South and up the Midwest. I'm grateful for that, because, yeah, since you're going to be voting, you don't just need one side of the story. I know that a lot of times that ideology weighs more than truth, but this is a season where you've got to know the truth. Let me say this again. You must know the truth. Because it is the truth that makes one free. It liberates, first of all, your mind. It dislodges you from darkness, the darkness of ignorance, and it brings you into the light of revelation, wisdom, knowledge, and intelligence, right? And so it is always important not to allow your ideologies to inform your every moment. We believe things that we believe, but just because you believe it doesn't mean that it's right belief, that it's correct belief about a thing. You've got to have the truth, right? And that's the word of in the text. That's the word that Jesus says, that and you shall know not your belief, but you shall know the truth, right? And the truth will make you, not set you, make you free. That means truth, first of all, works from the inside out. It begins to dislodge the lie. It begins to remove bad information or misinformation or places where people were attempting to deceive and or manipulate you. And truth has a way of unlocking those fetters and snapping those chains so you can be free to make the best and the wisest decision based upon the most accurate information that is possible. And so, yeah, definitely. That's what we try to do here every day on the Culture Call, is to align ourselves with truth, right? So, yeah, there's a whole lot. The debate is coming up, and so we're going to be keeping our eyes on that as well, as the debate between Vice President Harris and former President Trump is about to take place. I believe it's on September 10th. That's something that you need to tune into. Absolutely. We need to also encourage our young people to, and not guilt them, but to encourage them to vote, to show up, to make their voices known. Because guess what? That right now we are voting on the world that they will inherit, right? They are the beneficiaries of our present decisions. And the decision could not be more in contrast, more stark than it is right now. I mean, you can tell what is day and you can tell what is night. You can tell what is light and you can tell what is darkness. There is no kind of, how should I say, there is no kind of confusion there. If you're confused, it's because you want to be confused. I mean, and that's just the facts. I wish I could say it in a nicer way, but I cannot. But it's very important. So even as we move closer toward election day, I believe it's 70 some odd days toward election. This is that encourage our young people. I'm talking about 18 all the way up to 40, 45. Encourage each and every one of them that if they show up, they will chart the course of the country that they think they're going to have. If they don't, they're going to put their hands in the hands of people who want them to go back to 19, 20, 30, 40, 50s, right? 60s, right? When they had no rights, where they had to fight for the rights all over again. I mean, it is just that crucial and that critical. One of the things I do is I believe what people say in terms of, when they really want to be in power, they will say whatever they want to say. And not whatever they want to say, but they think that that's going to win you over. That's what I want to say. But deep in their heart, if you let them keep talking, and if you watch the pattern of their life, when you see people say one thing to this group and another thing to this group and another thing to this group, you got to be very careful of that, because there is some level of deceit. They just want to get in. They just want to, all of those other things that that will put us back in a very, very dark place, and we don't want that. We are definitely not going back. Okay, cool, good deal. Listen, so this whole idea of collaboration and understanding partnerships, I want to talk about that because I really want us to understand, especially in our community, especially in our state, especially in our country right now, it is so important that we begin to formulate proper and moving forward thinking collaborations and partnerships. Number one, it is the suggestion there that, inferring there that no one person can make it alone. Let me say that no one person can make it alone, right? That our lives were never, ever designed. Yeah. Our lives were never designed from this whole idea of I can make it by myself, right? I put myself up on by my own bootstraps. Okay, I mean, et cetera, right? And one of the things that's kind of I don't want to call it an outright lie. I don't want to call it an outright lie, but I will say, let me say this. I will say that the truth of the matter is that God never designed for us to live this life alone and by ourselves, right? I think that's the best way to say it. Yeah, that's the best way to say it. And we have this whole thing. Hey, man, you can make it by yourself. I get it. I sometimes people even take Jesus out of the equation. Long as I got king, or put him in there like as he's the only thing you need. And I get what you're trying to say, but even Jesus promotes partnerships. The text promotes partnerships and collaborations. But what it is, it depends on who we connect to. It depends greatly on who we decide to collaborate with. Our partnerships are very key and critical to realizing the things that we want to see. Manifestation is an offspring to proper collaboration and partnerships. Here's what the text says. If any two of you would agree as touching anything, then it will be given to them of the Father, right? So right there, that is a sign that Jesus promotes collaboration and partnerships, right? That's important, right? The Ecclesiastes writer says this, two are better than one because they have great reward for their toil. That while they're working, you can get more done if it's more than just one of you, right? If it's two of you, or if you got a partner, or if you collaborated with somebody, guess what? The effectiveness of your work or your toil is much greater than if it was just by yourself. Listen, it says, for if they fall, one will lift up the other. But woe to one who is alone and falls and does not have another to help. What is the text saying? That we need help, right? With your smart, intelligent, I can do it all by myself kind of self. The text is really the opposing that ideology and that notion. The whole idea is that God wants us to have collaborations and partnerships, but here comes the responsibility. We have to understand it matters who we partner with. It matters who's on our team. Yes, God wants us to have teams, but it does matter who is on the team. You don't want a team of people who's going to just let you do all the work and take all the credit and just get the glory of being on the winning team. No, that's not how teams work. Teams work because each part of the team plays to each other's strengths, right? Or to each other's weaknesses, rather. That means that I'm going to staff myself for my against my weakness, that whatever area I'm weak in, I'm going to find someone and partner with them that can be strength to my weakness. That's how that works, right? I'm not trying to find somebody who is strong in the area that I am strong in. Why? Because we're going to begin to end up butting heads. Oh, I know how to do my job, but I know how to do your job too. Yeah, that's not a team. That is chaos. That is confusion. But yeah, I'm not good at this area. So I've got to find somebody to partner with or collaborate with that can cover my blind spots. That's important. Listen, here's what else the text says. It says, again, if two lie together, they keep warm. But how can one keep warm alone? And so, again, the Ecclesiastes writer, right, is teaching us a lesson of life, right? That if there's going to be warmth, if there's going to be companionship, if there's going to be a one that that's somebody that fights for me, somebody that protects me, somebody that covers me, then I've got to have a partner or a collaborator. I cannot stay warm by myself, right? That's just not how this goes. And here's what else it says. It finishes off the text like this. It says, and although one might prevail against another, two will withstand one, right? You might fight and win if it's just one-on-one, but if it's another person with you, you may not even have to deal with that because that person ain't fighting two of y'all. And here's what else it says, and a threefold cord is not quickly broken. That when you have a team and you have partnerships and collaborations, starting with two, and you begin to intelligently and divinely add people to your team, life starts getting better. Life starts getting better. Why is this important? Because I was talking to a group of young people, and they were like, Pastor, it's so very difficult, finding a partner, for loyalty and, companionship. And I said, okay, well, here's the deal. Where are you trying to go? What are you trying to accomplish? Well, I don't know. That's the problem. Number one, that's why you keep attracting people. You keep attracting people to I don't know. Because when you don't know, watch this, where you're going, you invite other people into your life to tell you. When you don't know who you are or have an idea of who you are in terms of your identity, you invite other people who make it their business to define you according to what they believe that you should be. You see what I'm saying? And so it's very important then that they're at the age where they're looking for spouses, they're looking for, partnerships, they're trying to start businesses. And my first question I asked them is, where are you going? What do you want out of this? What do you want? What do you want in a mate? What do you want in a person? Are you just trying to date? If you're trying to just go with somebody to the movies, then just get active in your church or in your organization or find some place and just hang out. If that's what you're looking for, say that, right? But if you're looking for someone to build a life with, if you're looking for someone to where you can say I do, I don't know what the measure of relationship is, right? If you're looking for something that's going to be lasting, and that you're going to be able to grow and evolve and have that person to grow and evolve with you, then you got to answer some questions about you. You've got to be honest with yourself. You got to begin to say, okay, hey, what do you want and where do you want to go? Well, this is what I want. Okay, why is that important? Because that leads you down the path toward a certain kinds of relationships. When you are clear about what you want, that desire or that destination will lead you down a path, a trajectory, if you will, of the particular kind of relationships that are reflective of what you say your desires are, right? And so that's very important. One of the things that I challenge people with, if you're a business owner or if you're, even if it's a prayer partner, my thing is, what are you trying to accomplish? Culture call. That's what I want to ask you. Before you go partnership and collaboration hunting, right? Listen, you've got to answer some questions within yourself, right? You've got to answer some questions, right? Now, I don't like to get theologically deep, because I want everybody to understand me, and that's kind of my wheelhouse. But one of the things one of the first things that God gave, we call him Adam, but one of the first things that God gave the first man was this: an assignment, a job, a vision, do's and don'ts, right? He gave that to him, right? And then he said, it's not good for you to be alone, right? Because everything else in the garden had a collaborator, had a partner, had something whereby they could be fruitful and multiply. And that was the prophetic blessing over the man. And God blessed them. God never spoke to that man's spirit as a singular notion. And God blessed him. No, and God blessed them and said to them, be fruitful. So already within that original man, even though in the visible reality, even though in nature he was only one at the time, God had spoke the blessing over them, which means that in order for him to be fruitful and multiply, there would have to have been a partner or a collaborator that was going to help him be fruitful. Because why? He could not be fruitful by himself. I want to pause right here because I want to ask you today, a culture call, are you attempting to be fruitful by yourself? Are you attempting to be fruitful and produce it all and to do it everything by yourself? Well, I want to tell you that is not divine and a divine assignment on your life. That there are people, and again, I'm not just talking romantically, I'm talking about for whatever vision and assignment that God has given. Paul, you talk a good game, and I appreciate you, bro, but you do need Barnabas. And you do need Silas. Yes, you need somebody to help you. I know you're throwing away John Mark, but guess what? You're going to need to partner with John Mark a little bit later, right? right? Jesus didn't try to do this all by himself when he came. He got what? 12 disciples. And then as he got closer to reaching his destiny, he got from the 12 in inner circle, Peter, James, and John, right? Now, yes, he had to grow to Calvary by himself, but he also elicits that in the lives of those who he would partner and collaborate with. He says that if you're going to follow me, you must deny yourself and do what? Take up your cross and follow me, right? And so, yeah, the hymn writer said it right. Must Jesus bear the cross alone and all the world go free? The refrain is no, there's a cross for everyone, and there's a cross for me. And so even when we're talking about crucifixion, natural crucifixion, he did that. That was his assignment. But daily we crucify ourselves according to the text, because we are partners in this, right? You don't want a partner who's not going to share in the assignment, right? Already, Culture Call, I'm shaking the table, and I want you to think, and better yet, rethink the people that you have in your life, the people that you have and that you have attracted to your life, the people that you have connected and or loitering in your life, right? That's important. You got to know what your assignment is first. You got to know what has been placed in your hands, right? Lest you partner with somebody and you get to the place where you're supposed to be your most productive and they become jealous. They become envious. They stop helping you. And now you're sitting here in what should have been the best season of your life, reaping all the seeds. And here it is, you're fighting against your help. You feel what I'm saying? And so you got to begin to understand and stop trying to travel without an itinerary. Oh, I'm just going to walk. And if I meet somebody, I meet somebody. If I don't, I don't. If I'm connected. No, you set yourself up for anyone who pays attention, right? You don't set your algorithm so low, right? Don't set that so low for your life that you begin to attract lowlifes. You begin to attract people who don't know what they want, right? And they're willing to go with you because you have the appearance of going somewhere, but then they end up sabotaging what you want, right? Right? And that's very important. So yeah, set some definitions and get your vision right. Get your vision board. Get your dreams organized. Get your journal ready for people to come and for the resource to come of partnerships and collaborations to come into your life. Because there is a fine line between a collaborator and a manipulator. And you got to learn the difference. You got to know the difference. And Culture Call, beloved, ain't none of us getting younger. So that means we don't have time to lose. We do not have time to lose. Believe the signs. See what you have, and then begin to say, okay, God, according to your word in Ecclesiastes, 2 are better than 1. I need you to send me the ones or the one that's going to walk with me, that's going to help me build, that's going to help me manifest who I really am, because I want to help them as well. Because a part of your assignment of being blessed is to be a blessing. A part of your assignment to having favor or receiving favor is for you to show favor as well. Right? That not only am I a life receiver, but I am also a life giver. And I don't want to be giving life to something and to someone that's not for me or not supposed to be in my wheelhouse or in my community or in my area of making decisions. I want to know that I am partnering with people who have similar mindsets. The Bible speaks of that all the time. Like-mindedness, same heart, same mind, same spirit. We've got to have those same, so that we will not find ourselves fighting over things that no longer matter, or fighting over, and we never reach destiny. You do not want 10 spies with you that all they're going to do is talk you out of what faith says you should move into. Absolutely. So that's what we're going to be talking about today on the Culture Call right here with yours truly, L. Spencer Smith. Praise 93.3, 790 WTSK. Keep it right here. There's more to come.
This is a world premiere.
And we are back right here on the Culture Call with yours truly, L. Spencer Smith. Praise 93.3, 790 WTSK. And we are having an amazing conversation. Are y'all enjoying it? I know I am. Talking about partnerships and collaborations, the do's, the don'ts, the what's, the why's, the how's, And as a pastor, I get this often, how do we create collaborations? How do we partner? How do we know that we are supposed to be on this team? How do we know that this person is supposed to be connected to us? And I wish I could say and give an easy answer about the hows, the do's and the don'ts, the ins and the outs, the technology of friendship, relationship, partnership, collaboration, formulation. I wish that there was something in a cookie box. I mean, some people will try to put it that way so that they can sell books. And I guess if I wanted to write a book about partnerships and collaborations, I could. But the truth of the matter, in my own life experience, is that the best way that I have found to create these partnerships and collaborations, no matter what project I was working on, whether it's a preaching project or when I say preaching project, a particular revival, because I'm not supposed to partner and collaborate with every church. I have to, because some places in my life I know I should not have gone. That when I picked up the mic, I could hear Holy Spirit say, I told you not to go there. You went here because, you wanted to preach. You just wanted to go. You wanted to accept an invitation. Okay, right. And so I learned through the years that sometimes people not calling you is a blessing. Is really because you're not supposed to collaborate with that. I know we feel like we're supposed to go in and make deliverance and have it. No, there's some places that you'll go and partner with that there's something that will latch on to you and you'll take it back to your house and you're trying to figure out what's wrong with my church, what's wrong with my ministry. And now you took yourself in some place where you shouldn't have been, right? But I learned that through the years, but whether it's that, whether it's music, who's writing with me, who's producing the songs, who's going to be musicians, who are my background singers. There's got to be a particular gel, right? And each album, each album I deal with has always, that's one of the first questions that I ask myself. I write a particular group, set of songs, and then I see who I need to work with, who can add some more songs. If I'm not writing the whole album, I'll ask some people, who I'm led to, hey, could you write a song for this? There have been many people who God has literally protected me from. I'm not ashamed to say that God has really protected me from, because, that's just not what God wanted for me and for that particular project. So I'm very careful in that area, right? When I'm doing a book, who do I need to interview? Who do I need to put this book in their hands and let them edit it for me? And who begins to understand what the assignment of this particular manuscript is, right? And so there's very few things that I do that I don't consider who should I collaborate with, who are my partners in this, who should I get information, wisdom, and insight from, even building a building. I called some of my great friends who are doing it or have done it on a scale that I want to do it. And I don't talk to people, or ask people who have an issue with me building or me constructing. I don't want to talk to people who perceive me as their competition, right? And I want somebody who gives me what I need to consider, what I haven't thought about. I've never done this before, especially in areas where I have a desire, but I also am dealing with a level of darkness and ignorance because I've never done it before. It's important that you partner and collaborate with the right people so that they can kind of steer you and give you the headwinds of their, or better yet, the tailwinds of their particular experience, right? That their umpteen years of wisdom now becomes the motivation and the fuel, the momentum, and they take out, they give you 30 years in an hour or 30 minutes, and now you are 30 years wiser for partnering and collaborating with them. And I think part of the problem of collaborations, and just in thinking about it, is you've got to get away or disconnect yourself, divorce yourself from the embarrassment of what you perceive or the perceived embarrassment of needing somebody. Let me say that again. That we build monuments to people who say that they are self-made, understanding that there is no self-made individual. Okay, right? That there's no self-made individual. And so, I don't like to ask people for help. We don't like to ask them for help because in our minds, I don't want nobody to come back and say they helped me. I don't want nobody to take the credit. Well, okay, good. I've gotten to the place in my life, take the credit. Tell everybody you helped me as long as what I need gets done. You see what I'm saying? You can tell the world that I helped Bishop Smith to do this and I gave him $1 million. Thank you. Appreciate it. Tell the whole world. Listen, do you need me to call the Tuscaloosa News, Wall Street Journal, New York Times, whoever? We need to go to 3340. I don't matter. You can tell everybody as long as I get to my destination. Now, it matters how I get it done. Because now, if you're going to be corrupt or lack integrity, if there's going to be some other kind of scheme going on, then off the top, no, you can't help me. And yes, I'm in desperate need. And but you can't do it. And it's not because you're going to tell anybody. It's because of the resources that you are going to use to help me. I don't need you to hurt other people while you're trying to help me. You see what I'm saying? So, because in my mind, let me just put it like that. To God, it matters how we get it done. It matters how we give. It matters how we partner. It matters, how we are blessings to each other. That, I make it a very strong point to our outreach ministry in our church. I make it a very strong point that when we go out to give water, give food, give clothing, or you minister to people who are homeless or whatever, when we do that, put your cameras up, put your phones up. No, nobody needs to know that. And of course, I know that there are many people who utilize that footage so that you can be like, oh, they're a church to help people. Now, that's cool. That's good for them. But for the church that I pastor, the Impact Nation, that's not how we do it. That's not how we do it. Now, can we take pictures after we finish serving and say that we served? Yes. But I'm not going to put you I'm not going to put a mother and her child on camera while we're trying to give them clothes and feed them while they're sitting up under a bridge or on the side of the road for a moment. No, I'm not going to do that. My job, if I'm going to partner with them, I'm also going to partner with their dignity. Come on. I'm going to partner with their dignity by providing discretion. Because that person, that lady that's on the street with her child might be on the run from somebody who's been putting her through domestic violence and an abusive relationship. And here I am trying to be a wonder unto myself, placing it on social media, on Facebook, and on television broadcasts or whatever, and the person finds her. No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. We're going to help you when you're low. And when you get back up on your feet, if you want to get in front of the camera and tell everybody that we helped you, that's fine. But there's a certain way I just believe that God wants it done. That's my belief, And so, your church don't serve the community like XYZ church. How do you know that? You will never probably know that, The thing that we normally do is that when we're doing the food pantry and partnering with Tuscaloosa one place and the people got to drive around, well, we can't hide that because cars are lined up to get food, right? But I'm not going to interview anybody. Well, why do you need food today? How are you struggling in your house that you need this? That ain't my prerogative. My thing is put what they need in this bag and let them go home and cook it. How about that? And if they want to come back on the other side, and tell people that, hey, the Impact Nation did X, Y, Z, that's fine. Cool. That's on them. They can tell their story. It's not my job to tell their story. I think that's very insensitive, right? And so we want to make sure that when we collaborate, that we have the right people that's on our team that understands where we're going. Collaboration is in Habakkuk. Chapter number 2, write the vision, make it plain, right? Write it on the tablets, right? And here's what he said. He starts into partnership. He said, so he that reads it, who's that running? He that runs, he can read it as he runs with the vision. That's why you got to make it plain, right? Right? So that's partnership. So just because you're the visionary does not mean you are the vision runner. Where are your vision runners? If you are a part of an organization and you just got letters or you just got a certificate on your wall on the date that you joined, why did you join it? That's not partnership. That's just simple membership. But partnership and collaboration is, what are you doing? What are you doing to make whatever you have become a part of better? Yeah. Why did you join it? My wife and I were walking on yesterday. We were just trying to get our little walk in for our health, trying to take care of ourselves. And we were just having a conversation and talking about, kind of like the subject we're talking about now. And at this age of life, we want to make sure that whatever we do, that we have the right people aligned with us. That whether it is her business, my career, church, whatever it is, we have spent our younger years dealing with people who have probably guilted themselves in being a part of our team. So they were doing it for us and not because they saw a place of making sure that a vision came to pass, right? So we were talking about that. And I was talking about, and wasn't casting aspersions. I said, but some people join things to bring addition to that place. And I said, you brought addition, but did you bring significance? You brought addition to that place, but did you bring significance to that place? Because everybody wants to be around something that's really big, and that goes from restaurants, church, the mall, the whatever. Everybody wants to work for a big situation. Most people, not everybody, but most people do, right? And the question becomes were you just an added employee, or are you a significant employee? That your addition brought significance to the area in which you were added, right? That part. And so you're not just at that job collecting a check. No, you're at this place because I believe in your product. You're not just a teacher sitting in the classroom, but I'm a teacher because I believe that I have in my hands 20, 30, 40 students that I'm molding with what I have gleaned over the years, what I've been to college for, still paying student loans for. I am a significant part of the school system. I'm a significant part of Central, significant part of Paul Bryant, significant part of North Ridge, and Tuscaloosa County, Hillcrest. I am a significant part of that place. Right? So when you're dealing with partnerships and collaborations, the question that you ask is, can I bring significance? There are places that I have rejected, assignments that, we really want you to come. I don't think I'm going to add any significance to that. I don't think I'm going to add anything to that. Thank you for the invitation though. But I just don't think my presence and my is going to add anything to that. And I'm honest with them. I'm honest with myself because I used to pride myself on being a jack of all trades, but now I'm like, no, there's just a few things I want to do because I know I do them well. I know I am called to do them. I know I have the grace to do them. And other things, simply because I can do it, doesn't necessarily mean that I should and will do it. Why? Because, number one, I know it's not, I'm going to do it grudgingly, right? And see, here it is. It's back in that 2 Corinthians chapter 8, 9, where Paul talks about the grace of giving. He says, when you give, you don't give out of necessity or grudgingly, right? Because God loves a cheerful giver. That word cheerful there in the Greek means ready to do, prompt, hilarious kind of giver, right? That giver goes over the top. They're ready to go over the top. They're prompt. They are not late. They're on time in their giving, right? When it's the giving moment, when it's the giving time, they are standing in the line like, hey, I've been waiting to give this all week long. I've been waiting to give this all day long. And so this is what I'm going to do. Right? That's what a cheerful giver doesn't mean that you just got a big smile on your face. That's what it means. Hilarious giver means that it's contagious, that you encourage other people to give on your level of readiness and your promptness. You see, there's the text. Man, that's why I was getting ready to go somewhere else. That's why learning how to explain the text correctly takes on a different, because I love the original text. Not God loves a cheerful giver. That don't mean you got to be happy, and that doesn't mean that you just smiling. No, that means I've made a concerted effort to be prompt, to be ready, and to be hilarious. That means I'm causing other people around me to catch hold of this contagion called giving. I want other people to partner and collaborate with me, like I have collaborated with this assignment, right? And Paul speaks about that concerning the Macedonian church. He speaks about how even out of their deep poverty, they gave so richly liberal to the assignment. And the assignment was taking care of the saints. That's what, right. And so you're really not going to partner, and true collaboration does not happen simply because you are added to the team. The true partnership and collaboration comes out of you bringing significance. What is your significance to the team? Oh, you so excited about getting married. Yeah. But did you just get another body? Or do you see that person? I get to engage in that person's life, to love them, to cover them, to fuel them, to provide momentum for them when it is time for vision. I get to partner with this man. I get to partner with this woman. I get to make sure that in their bad days, I am their encouragement. In their good days, I'm their cheerleader. In their weak days, I'm their strength. And in their strong days, I am their fortifier. Do you get it hilarious? Are you ready and prompt? Then if that's the case, then leave marriage alone. If your marriage is already looking for an exit door or where you can decommit, this is not the portal. Everybody talking about portals today. This is not the transfer portal. No, that when you're in that kind of relationship, when you're in that kind of relationship, marriage is not based off of eros, sexual intimate love. Marriage is based off of agape, a decision that I'm committing myself to decide to do the best for the person who I'm connected to. That is true partnership. Listen, in the next half, we're going to be talking about true partnership and collaborations. I'm going to stop right there before I go any further, but I'll pick it back up. Keep it right here. This is the Culture Call with yours truly, L. Spencer Smith. Praise 93.3 FM. Don't you dare move. Keep it right here.
This is a world premiere.
And we're back. It's the top of the hour, 11 a.m. right here on the Culture Call with yours truly, L. Spencer Smith. Praise 93.3 and 790 WTSK. And I want to welcome and send a big shout out to all of my second hour listeners. That's right. I am so glad and grateful that you all are here, tuned in, locked in to our awesome show today. Hey, as always, I'm grateful to have every listener. You mean so much to me, and you keep moving us forward. You keep us building. You keep us going. And I'm grateful for you, and I'm hoping that we are a blessing to you. Listen, don't forget the chat is available. If you're not going to call in 205-752-4800, then definitely hit me up on the chat on our app. That's right, Praise 93.3 app. Go to your smart device, download it on your phone, and utilize the chat feature. That's right. It's going to be a blessing to you when you do. Absolutely, absolutely. I'm telling you. And so listen, let me get back to my matter at hand. So, clearing my throat, we have been talking about partnerships and collaborations this morning, their importance, how we do it, why we need to do it, their importance in our lives. I think it is something very centrally significant to even the atmosphere that we see going on right now, that there is no area in our lives that are at work without partnerships and collaborations. That's all, even as you look at this political scene, that's all the campaigns are trying to do, is trying to create and manifest collaborations and partnerships that will go to the polls and, of course, elect them. And, of course, that's very important. And so, your partnerships and your collaborations, your team speak volumes about what you believe from an ideological context, right? And I need us to connect our ideologies to truth. This is why I'm trying to break down the importance of partnerships, right? In the book of Amos, it says, "Can two walk together except they be agree?" Right? And except they are in agreement, right? And so the whole idea is not how can. The whole understanding is that the writer is saying that these two things would not be paired except they were already in agreement, right? So agreement is the precedent for movement. Agreement is the catalyst for momentum and mobility. That you can't move forward or move really anywhere except you go into you go into some level of agreement, right? Some level of collaboration and partnership. One of the strongest scriptures in the text, it says this, is that you really cannot, it's like really against the law. It's really against the law of nature to yoke a camel, not a camel, but an ox and a donkey in the same yoke. Now, those yokes are the things that you have that's on your neck, and in Middle Eastern times or Near Eastern times, really, they would yoke two oxen together so that they could pull plows and right. But it says that you don't necessarily yoke an ox and a donkey together, because we know by nature donkeys are a little bit stubborn. That's their coinage, right? They are, yes, beasts of burdens, and they can get the work done, but it's kind of like they're gonna get done when they ready to get done. An oxen is a driver, it's a worker, right? It's gonna plow forward. And what you don't want to do is put an ox and yoke it right next to a donkey, because you got one side pulling and the other side staying. And that is a great picture, a great biblical picture, metaphor of partnerships and collaborations. That you should not be in partnership with anybody that you got to fight with. Y'all don't agree, but you're trying to build. You don't agree. I don't agree. The carpet should be blue. What? You gonna stop the whole thing over blue carpet? Really? Right? I don't agree that this, and I don't agree. And we try to sound righteous in our disagreement instead of cantankerous, but really that's just kind of what it is. And so you have to think about how many projects and how many things in your life got stopped or got slowed down because you had people on your team that weren't really in collaboration and partnership with you, true collaboration and partnership with you, right? And so that's the whole idea of any kind of relationship. And, in the last hour, we were just talking about, how that looks in marriage. How that looks in marriage. Yeah. How does that look? That you want to go somewhere and she don't want to go. You want to build a new house. She don't want to build a new house. Right? You want to do this. He don't want to do that. Right? It becomes all those small disagreements. Then you got to start asking yourself, here's the deal. You got to start asking yourself the concept of why why, and I hate to coin the term from Tyler Perry, but why did I get married in the first place? I didn't get married to disagree. I didn't get married to not move forward. I didn't get married to not grow and not build, but I'm yoked with a person. I'm yoked with a person that, watch this, doesn't see it my way. Now, let's park right there, because what that tells me is that your way was not discussed. Because if your way was articulated properly, you probably would have never met that person. Right? That goes back to you got to go back to the top of what I said. If the first thing that you need is to tell me where you want to go, tell me what you want to accomplish. And I'm going to tell you right there that destination, that desire is going to lead you toward a path, lead you to paths. Proverbs, 3, trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not to your own understanding, in all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths with an S, right? And so when you begin to articulate the divine purpose or your desire of what you want to happen, automatically your path is going to be directed to that in that direction. And on that direction, there are other people that agree with you. So if y'all don't agree with anything in the marriage, it tells me that you are too late trying to tell me where you want to go after you say I do. Oh, anybody saying nothing now? Lift your hand and tell God yes. No, for real though. For real, Bo, that's the facts. That if y'all are button heads now, either they were the best kind of liar and deceiver, or that wasn't discussion. I told you in our last hour that marriage and most relationships are not based off, especially marriage, is not based off of eros. And that's basically what they show y'all on social media. Something alluring, something this and something that. And everything is hypersexual. That's what it is. That hypersexual, and you get all that. Marriage is not based off of that. Marriage is based off of not eros, but agape. Eros, rather, but agape. That's what it's based off. The unconditional decision to do the best for the individual that I am with. That's right. That I'm going to do my best. I'm going to know my boundaries, because I'm not their problem solver. That's not what I am. I'm not their healer. I'm not their waymaker. I'm not trying to be God. Therefore, I will never try to take the place of God in our marriage. No, I'm the person that's going to pray for them. I'm the person that's going to encourage them to pray. I'm the person that's going to encourage them to seek the Lord. I'm going to encourage them with the wisdom that God downloads to me, but I'm definitely not going to take God's place. No. He's the third one in this that keeps us together. Threefold cord is not easily broken. Yeah, that part. But you got to understand, you know what? I said this in church on the other Sunday, y'all, and I got in trouble because I didn't get many amens, right? Here's what I said. I said, a lot of people are looking for the perfect person. They want a perfect person so that perfect person can deal with all of their imperfections. Did y'all hear what I just said? I'll say it again. Don't worry about it. I'm not afraid. I ain't scared. Let me say it again. I'll do it like I did on Sunday. Most people, they are single and they don't have anybody because they're looking for this perfect person that will deal with their imperfection. In other words, you want the person to come flawless, problemless, issueless, moneyful, beautiful, bountiful. You want all of that so that person can begin to be the medicine to your imperfections, to your poverty, to your brokenness, to your unsettled issue and unresolved problem, your trauma. That you want them to understand that, but you don't want them to come with any trauma, because now that's going to be a problem. I want to tell you, then you ain't going to listen. The only person that like that was Jesus. And then when he was in the earth, people found fault in him. You know? Huh? And that's the whole idea. When I was coming up, they had a song, Come This Far, Find No Fault, Feel Like Traveling On. Yeah, they had this whole thing that I ain't find no fault in Jesus. Well, that's because you ain't never met him and he ain't never met you. Because if any of us had personally met Jesus while he was walking the earth, we would have issue with him because he going to tell us about ourselves. Right? Absolutely. Yeah. And guess what? If you understand this, he's still telling us about ourselves. If I don't go, the Comforter cannot come, the Holy Spirit. And he's going to instruct you, rebuke you, correct you. He's going to lead you into all truth. Not just about God, but also about yourself. And sometimes we don't like people telling us the truth about us. You know? I was dealing with a young man, and he was just reeling about what was wrong with this girl, what was wrong with his girlfriend. He was just going on and on. And I was like, son, what's the problem? What's the problem? You know, man, Bishop, blah, 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 this. I mean, he had them enumerated. I was like, okay, cool. I said, I get it. I said, are you looking for your mama? No, why you say that? Right? Because everything you've said, your girlfriend ain't, you always say, like my mom. I'm trying to figure it out. You know, is that who you want, your mom? Oh, Bishop, that don't sound right. No, I'm not saying that it is right. It's not right. I'm just trying to tell you how foolish you sound, right? If this girl got any good sense, she would drop you and go find somebody who had some good sense with her. I mean, ain't nothing she can't do right. Nothing. Nathan. She can't do Nathan right. Right? You want her to stay home. But, she want to go out. Then she want to stay home. Then you want to go out. It's just everything is opposite. And you got to figure out at some given point, when are you going to say, okay, nobody is perfect, but this person is able to partner and collaborate with me to cover up my places where I am deficient. That I don't have to always look out for myself because I know that 10 toes down, this girl got my back. This guy got my back. Yeah, they might do some things that irritate me. My wife, listen, I'm sure I have a plethora. God bless that woman. She got the grace to be married to me because I got a lot of little quirky little things, but she does, she'll eat nuts like nobody else. And you can hear it. She got strong teeth. Always have from since college. And if she listen to this, I already know I'm in trouble. Nonetheless, yeah. But I mean, you don't get that. That ain't no reason. The peanut's gonna be gone. The almond's gonna be gone in a minute. You see what I'm saying? I think we are majoring in minors and minoring in majors, and we need to flip it. What are the major things? She takes care of me. She takes care of my children. She takes care of herself. She takes care of our home. She's got my back. She's my number one fan. All of these different kinds of things. Been with me through the hardest times of my life and vice versa. I'm her cheerleader. I don't have, when I'm in the spotlight, she is there. When she in the spotlight, I'm there. We are partnering together. That's the kind of person. And we grew up as children. Flawed, messed up, failed children. Think we thought we knew it all. Yeah. Yeah, we grew up like that. That's cool. Met her in college, and we almost 30 plus years. Met 1993. 34 years. But those 34 years been ups and downs, mountains and valleys, ins and outs, curves and things, that blindsided things. That wasn't necessarily with us, but in our families, parents dying, this that happening, sisters dying, all these different kinds of things. Some days money crazy. Some days you got to believe God. Other days in abundance. All that kind of stuff. We're there because you got to understand the partner and the collaborator that God has assigned in your life. That when you know where you're going, God will assign the right person to you. Or that person, he'll place in your path people who can partner with, right? That I can remember when I was became a part of the marching band. It was just, and not just high school. I'm talking about in college. It was just a collaboration. Didn't know these people, but everybody wanted to make the number. Marching 100 at Florida A&M University. I'm a member of that, by the way. Yeah. I still got it, but I just can't get it like I used to get it, but I still got it, y'all. Nonetheless, stay on topic. Check it out. So, yeah, I didn't know any. No, I was, I had a few of my friends that went to college with me, that were in other sections and whatever. And I knew I didn't know these people from Belgrade, Florida, Palm Bay, Florida, Jacksonville, Florida, Miami, Florida. All across Chicago, New Orleans. But all of us wanted to make that number in 1989, the fall of it. We all wanted to make that number. That's what it was called. You got to make that number. You got to go through pre-drill, and you got to make that number. All of y'all today ain't going to be here at the end of pre-drill. And it was hard. But we would, listen, I don't know you, but guess what? You're going to be my brother. You're going to be my sister. We're going to know each other in these next 2-3 weeks because all of us want to make that number. If you want to make it, we're going to help each other make it. We're going to cheer each other on. When we're going to practice music together. We're going to do all of this. That's the kind of partnership that you need. That when we go back to homecoming and I see them, it's like, yo, man, it brings me back to a certain time and a certain space. See, the issue is a lot of us are trying to formulate partnerships and collaborations and don't have a vision of what our target is. Sir, what is your target? Ma'am, what is your target? Absolutely. What is it? What is it? Or you just want to be a part of something? And you got to start asking yourself, if this is my target, am I on the right way? Am I doing the right thing? You just got to figure out what that target is. Why go through all of this and not know your target? Did y'all get that? Why go through all of this and not know your target audience, your target? Who are you selling cakes to? Who are you going to sell chicken to? What's your target audience? I believe I've got a gift and a call to make couture clothing. Okay. Well, now you do know couture clothing. First of all, it's unique, but normally it's a certain price range, so it won't look cheap. Because it can't look gaudy. This not Halloween. So it's going to be a little bit pricey. So that means automatically your clientele is not going to be buying every week. You're not trying to be Dollar General. You're trying to design and market haute couture clothing. So boutique level clothing. So your trajectory's got to lead you to boutiques, and certain other places and high-end clientele. So that means don't quit your day job. Don't do that because, listen, if you can tell in Tuscaloosa, Belk's ain't like it used to be. JCPenney ain't like it used to be. Most of the stores in the mall are playing to a clientele that's much younger, way more casual, way more urban, right? You can't find really a good suit anywhere. You may be able to go to Men's Warehouse or, you got to go and search because they don't make the clothes like that because that's not their clientele. So if you're looking for something haute couture here, you're not going to find it unless you find it in a little off boutique or a secondhand store where some rich lady sold a gown or something that was, a little eclectic. You might have to search. Yeah, because it's not so you can't get mad when your clientele in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, don't buy and you don't pay $800-900 to make a dress and you got to sell it at $1,200 just to make a profit. You can't get mad when it don't sell overnight because that's not the clientele. You see what I'm saying? You got to begin to understand where you're going with this. Where are you going with this? When we started making music, Testament at our church, when we started making music, it was difficult. Number one, in the industry, nobody expected that kind of sound to come from out of Alabama. So they weren't looking. They were looking for us, but they were looking for us from New York and Detroit and maybe Cali. Atlanta was the deepest South, maybe Miami, just maybe. But they were definitely not looking for us in Alabama. Nowhere to be found. They were like, "No, where y'all from? Alabama, you lying. Y'all lying." Absolutely. And it took us a while to break into the industry because all they knew was Alabama, Mississippi, and these lower southern states were quartet music and big old choirs singing quartet music. That's what they knew. And nothing's wrong with that, but God didn't give it to us like that. That's not how the sound that he gave us, right? And so you had all of these people in the gospel music industry that were trying to connect a sound in a brand, but not in the location. So nothing would tell them to come look for us in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. It just didn't make any sense to them, right? So we knew that, it took people here, in our home state and our home city. It took them a while to understand and to embrace who we were, right? And to be truthful, long after the group broke up, then people started saying, "Oh, yo, we love your music, this XYZ," and we, shaped the entire urban contemporary gospel music sound in the early 2000s. That was us right here in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. We could not find a partner, and that's the facts. That's the facts. I was sitting in an industry meeting, and the attorney said, "Hey, y'all need to give this group their money back because y'all have no vision to market them to the masses. You all are not marketing them to the masses. I've listened to," the attorney said, "I'm listening to their music, and their music is so next level that, go let them do it themselves because ain't no way. Don't take their money and then you have no plan of how to market them to where they need to be." It was the same time, the same year that Ty Tribbett and GA came out. We were at the GMWA in Kansas City, Missouri. The same year, both of our records came out. And then came Natalie Wilson and SOP. Yeah, we were in that marketing point and that musical point shaping what was going on at that time. But when you don't have a partner that believes in you, and you don't have a community, and you don't have don't have a problem with you being a springboard, them being a springboard to launch you, then hey, I'm telling you that if you've got a dream, you got to know who your market audience is, and you got to figure out how you're going to partner and collaborate to get your product exposed. Who's going to help you get to the next level? Who's going to help you strategize to go there? Nothing wrong with your product. I don't know who I'm talking to today on this culture call. There's nothing wrong with what you're producing. It is only what's wrong with who you're partner. You've got to find the right partner. If you find the right partners, and you may have to reach beyond your locality, if you find the right partners, then your product is going to take off because it's all about partnership and collaboration. Listen, this is the Culture Call right here with yours truly, Bishop L. Spencer Smith. Praise 93.3. I need you to keep it right here. There's much, much more to come.
This is a world premiere.
And we are back right here on the Culture Call with yours truly, L. Spencer Smith. And it's my prayer that you are enjoying our little conversation about partnership and collaboration. I want to be able to make sure that you understand exactly what we're doing with our lives, what you're doing with your life and your vision and your future, because that is at stake. And we've already said to you that it was not God's design for you to try to do it all by yourself. Every piece of who you are is an intricate connection to other people and other resources that God has allowed you or will allow you to be, come in contact with, that you have to learn how to build relationships. And that's kind of where I want to end on this, that you got to learn how to build relationships, that you cannot be a self-diagnosed introvert. Staying inside, getting up as soon as they say the benediction, amen, and you run into your car and you going, eating by yourself and not talking, not building relationship, that there is a part of the human equation that requires us to give of ourselves, to partner with other people. And it may not be, come here, y'all. It may not be something that you need. It may be something that you are supposed to give to someone because they are in need. That you can't live your life designated as only a consumer, right? That you've got to mature and grow and glean from life to the place to where you can level up to become a producer, that you become a tree that literally what? Produces fruit. And that fruit is so that other people can pull from you and pick from you and nourish themselves. You cannot always be looking for a tree to eat from, a ground to pull from, a pocket with money in it. You have to be able to grow up and mature enough to say, hey, I want to be the man giving into somebody else's bosom. I want to be the one that blesses somebody on behalf of God because they followed Luke 6:38. Give and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, shall men give unto your bosom. I want to be the man, one of the men giving to the bosom because I have, right? That when you're always a consumer, it says to me that you have agreed with functioning in a place of deficiency, of deficit. It says clearly to me that you are in a place to where, hey, I'm looking for somebody to do something for me. And I already told you that is the space and the place of manipulation. No, I want to be so blessed to be able to pay for everybody's check at the table. I want to be the one that is so in position that I can be the one that people look to handle the tab. Now, listen, with that comes balance, and I get it. Yeah, but just because I got it don't mean I'm going to give it to you. But I want to be in the place to where whenever God leans on my heart or there is a need that is identified, that I can be the one that produce the solution, the provision to that need. That's what true partnership is. Got to be reciprocal. Can we talk about that? Because I think sometimes when we talk about collaborations and partnerships, right, that is just comes to us. It's what's for us. That's what church means a lot to people now. That I'm a member and I want to have access to this and I want this. And when I get this and when my bills need to be paid, I ain't got to show up every Sunday. But when my bills and my need to be paid, I need the benevolence ministry to give here and I need this. And when I'm hurting, I need somebody to come pray for me. And when this is going on, I need somebody to do that and somebody to do that. And I need them. And I know I ain't been faithful and I know I'm not a part of any ministries and I know I'm not doing that, but I'm a member of the church and they supposed to have my great third, fifth cousin funeral here for free. Yeah. And if not, I'm going to go out and talk about how bad the pastor is, how bad the church is. And that's the kind of culture that we live in now. Right? That everybody wants to consume. Everybody wants to eat from a tree. They don't want to plant it. They don't want to take care of it. They don't want to fertilize it. They don't want to prune it. They just want to eat the fruit of it. And that is not partnership and collaboration. Have you ever wondered that when God places you and connects you to people in a place and an assignment, that maybe you are there not to receive, but to give? Maybe you are there to help them meet the budget. Maybe you are there to dry the tears, to sing the song that will encourage them. Do you think that? See, that's the part, that's the equation. Do you understand that if God gives you a spouse or a mate or someone that you are in their life to make their lives better and not just for them to make you better? Do you understand that? That's something that we've got to really lean into in this hour of selfishness and self-aggrandizement. And look at me in an hour of selfies, right? And ussies. You will take a ussie in church. Ussie means you and somebody else. You'll take that, but you won't post it because the other person might look better than you on this Sunday. Because, of course, you only took it so you could look good, right? And you'll have them looking crazy, but as long as you look good, then that's fine. But then you might as well have took a selfie. That part. that part. You see what I'm saying? And so we've got to begin to address these matters in a real-time way. We've got to begin to see ourselves beyond this whole idea of, what's in it for me? What's in it for you might simply be the fact that God ordered your steps there to be a blessing to somebody else. He might have put you there. Yeah. He might have put you there simply so that person wouldn't go under. Simply by your smile. Yeah. That God might have put you there. That simply by your presence, that person doesn't commit suicide. God might have sat you by that person on the plane, watch this, to hold their baby because they've not had anybody to hold the baby. They've been doing the best they can, and that mother is about to become frazzled. And here it is. You got the gift of baby whispering that you can grab that baby and say, hey, you go to sleep. I believe I'm supposed to, if you would trust me, don't just grab the baby, but if you would trust me, build a relationship. Because babies know friendly spirits. Babies know godly spirits. Babies are pure enough that they know evil as well. They know who not to go to. And I believe, Coach Call, that you are a great person. I believe. But we've got to shake this mentality that, I go to church because I can get me a good word. For what? Who are you giving the word to? Who are you inviting? Who are you telling to be a part of it? Who are you? Who? Who have you won? Who have you ministered to? Who have you mentored? Or is it all about you? And I think that's something that we've got to address in this hour. Listen, I'm telling you. You got to address some things in this hour that if what else is our life for? I grew up around parents and grandparents and church folks and folks at school that they were always givers. They were always cooking a little extra, frying an extra piece of chicken. They were always, cooking a little bit more collard greens and macaroni because they would take plates or they would invite somebody over and say, hey, come over to my house. You can eat dinner, at my house. I had a friend, he's passed away, his name Mickey. Mickey was like the best cook. We wore the same size clothes, so I would raid his closet. But we lived about an hour, my sister and I, we lived an hour and some change away from church. And at that time, we had, watch this, night service. And Mickey would invite us over to his house. And we would go there. And, he would have it all spread out. It wasn't, and when I say house, I'm talking about his apartment, right? And he would have it all spread out. Collard greens, cabbage, barbecue chicken, fried chicken, cornbread, potato salad, sweet potato pie. It was all that. He laid it out and just said, hey, y'all don't have to drive all that far. Come to my house. Right? Or church is over. Y'all can stay in my guest room. Y'all can stay my sister and I. You can go up there. Or when I'm by myself, you can go up there and just go to sleep and then drive back home in the morning. See, that's the kind of stuff that I grew up under. So I don't really understand. Sometimes I don't understand this church, this hour of people, not just church folks, but this hour of people who are so distrustful, who are so cynical and skeptical of everybody. that they don't understand that you're going to skepticize your way out of a relationship that will take you to the next level. Fear of getting hurt. That's a part of relationships. At least now I know who not to fool with. And sometimes what we call hurt is a misunderstanding, is a bad approach. Sometimes airplanes make bad approaches and the tower tells them pull up, try to approach again. And so they got to circle around again. Right. It's the right airport. The approach was bad. You see what I'm saying? The approach was not what it was supposed to be. And that's it. That was important. I saw on this little clip where the tower, the airplane tower, and the pilot of the plane got in an argument when it was time to land. Because the pilot just wanted to land the plane. The tower was like, yo, okay, I get it. You understand this. Hey, but you have to tell us you're ready to land. You have to find out a place because it ain't just your plane. So they're in the air. The person approaching the car tower said, no, pull up. And the tower said, hey, listen, when you get ready to do this, make sure. And so the pilot says, okay, I know, but I don't like how you said that to me. I was like, wait a minute, we doing all this in the air? I say, wait a minute, they are passengers and bro, Captain, you got your feelings in your hand? You got your feelings on your chest with those folks' life in hand because you just want to land when you want to land, and now you mad because the airline, the tower is saying, hey, they couldn't have said it smooth. It ain't, pull the goddamn plane back up. There are other people who are landing, and the captain says, yo, I just don't like the way you said that to me. I don't like the way I was like, whoa. See, sometimes we get stuck in the approach, and then we get mired around the emotions of how a thing was said and not even understanding the context of the moment. Yeah, that's what we do. And we miss out on valuable relationships. We miss out on things that would really, really serve us and do better for us and no harm. But we got to understand how to create and build relationships and that turn into partnerships and collaborations that take us to the future. Maybe the issue is self-examination. And I want today to encourage each and every one of you to examine yourself to make sure that you are ready to establish partnerships and collaborations. I think it will take your life much farther than it already is. Listen. Got to take a break. This is the Coach Call with yours truly, L. Spencer Smith. Got to take a break. Y'all stay right here. Got to see the runway. There it goes. I see the runway. I'm going to land. Got to check with the dials first, right? But y'all keep it right here. I'll be back after this.
This is a world premiere.
Well, it's been an amazing day right here on the Culture Call with yours truly, and I've been blessed to have you join me all day. Listen, never fail. I will be back on tomorrow. That's right. Wednesday, I will be back from 10 to 12 following Brother Jay. I want to make sure that you know how to create partnerships and build collaborations this week and be kind to people. That's right. Be nice to folks. That's the first thing, I guess. Listen, we want to make sure that you grow exponentially for the rest of the year. It's September, the month to be productive and fruitful, and we want to make that happen in your life. Listen, as my grandmama, my mom would say at the end of every phone call, I love you a bushel, I love you a peck, and I love you a hug around the neck. This is yours truly again, L. Spencer Smith, right here on Praise 93.3, 790 WTSK with your favorite talk show, The Culture Call. Listen, be nice, be kind, love intentionally. Go out of your way to be at peace with everyone. Don't cause no trouble. Don't start none, won't be none, and we'll catch you right back here in the morning. Y'all have a blessed and beautiful day.